Hello everyone, my name is Alex Milburn and this is the PVFOA Weekly Review. Now the point of these reviews, bulletins, whatever you want to call them, is to just make sure that we get information out to the association sooner rather than later so that you can apply this stuff in your upcoming games instead of having to wait until March 22nd when we have our next association meeting. That all being said, if something happens during a game that you officiate, if you have any questions or anything else, let your position chiefs know. That's why they're there. Now, these scenarios are evaluated based on what was seen or heard. The actual circumstances may not have happened exactly as presented, but either way, these are good examples to learn from and make everybody better. And ultimately, this is not intended to embarrass anyone. We're all here to learn and collectively get better as an association. So with that all being said, let's get to it. Week one, we had a lot of things happen. First off, great job to everyone working this past week. You didn't have any scrimmages. We barely met online, and just overall a great job by everyone working not only football games, but snow football games. Great job working in the elements. I saw a picture online of a reporter taking a picture of a guy that was sweeping the sideline at halftime. So, that's something that we definitely don't see very often, if ever, as snow during a football game, accumulating snow during a football game. So good job, everybody. So moving on to our first scenario here, or not our scenario, rather, a mechanic change that we're going to do is effective immediately. The chains and down indicator will be on the home side of the field. The headline judge and the side judge will work on the side of the chains, which is now on the home side, and then the line judge and field judge will work opposite of the chains. Now, this is a VHSL, Virginia High School League guideline put forth in an effort to prevent community spread, and it applies to all levels, so varsity, sub-varsity, or middle school. We're going to have the chains on the home side of the field, and we're going to have the headline judge and the side judge working on that side. Now we'll get to the scenario. So the first scenario we have happened last week. There's a play that occurs where B intercepts the ball and will be next to put it in play. There's a flag on the ground. Calling official comes in to report a restriction on A. The referee repeats back to the calling official, there was a hold by A before the pass. The official confirms, yes, that is correct. So, as we all know, B is going to keep the ball. We're going to decline the penalty, and the chains are set and the clip is moved. And then at some point after the chains are moved and before the next play, another official comes in to say that the foul reported was incorrect. In fact, it was a hold by B. So now we have the situation of we have to go back and reset the chains because we have a foul on B instead of A, and A is going to get to keep the ball. So the ball is given back to A with the holding on B enforced. And then at halftime, it's discovered that essentially the foul occurred during the pass. It did not occur before the pass, it occurred during the pass. So now we have pass interference, we don't have a hold, which is a difference of 5 yards. So, really the right call was made, they got it right, but the crew looked bad doing it. And optics is everything, as we all know in officiating. We want to make sure that we get the right mechanically, we get everything right, and we know our rules, and we enforce them properly. So the lessons learned, just know the foul, know what you have, know what it's called, as well as the status of the ball. Is the ball loose when the foul occurs? Is it being ran? Is it being passed, kicked, what have you? Know your foul, if it's called holding or pass interference or whatever, as well as the status of the ball. Referees, don't be afraid to question what is reported to make sure it is understood what happened. And I hope everyone understands this. Referees, when they do this, it's not doubting anyone's judgment. It's just making sure that the rules are applied correctly and consistently. Officials, when you have information that is relevant to what is going on, you should bring it forth in the moment. Don't wait until the next play has happened. Don't wait till the end of the quarter, halftime, or after the game. Report it right then, because that is essential, that if there is any information that you have, you bring it forth to that group to discuss so that the referee can ultimately make the correct decision. Now, that all being said, if you don't have any information, stay out of the group. And one of the famous pointers that a smart official once said was, don't come in with "I think." Come in with "I know." Be positive. Don't assume. Don't think you know something. Don't be thinking. Make sure you know. Headline judge. Have an idea of where the ball is before it's snapped. Just kind of have an idea of the line to gain, the line of scrimmage, and what down it is. So if there is this scenario that happens, you kind of have an idea of where you can go back to if you absolutely must. And in the chain crews, when you're talking to these crews, they are a part of the crew, but ultimately they should be running 2 clips for this exact reason. So if we have this scenario, we can go back to the previous clip that wasn't moved and we're ready to go, instead of having to take a long time to discuss what happened and hold up the game. So the next scenario we have was actually the first game of the season, and some of you may have watched it, but it is Western Albemarle and I believe it was Monticello in overtime. And so you can see at the bottom here, Monticello already scored, Western's driving to score, and we're going to have the ball, I believe, is on the 8. So I'm going to play the video here, and then I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and hopefully we'll put this this video link, we'll share that so that you can watch it separately on your own as well. So we see Western is going to throw a pass, guy gets hit at about the 2, ball comes loose, and somebody recovers. The officials come in, sorry for the jumpy video, and we signal, and we're talking about it, and it looks like there's a coach on the field. And then we're ruling that B recovered the ball and the ball game's over. So there's a few things going on here. First off, we can see that initially I think the officials are positioned great. You can see by the down indicator the ball is at about the 7 or 8. So I think we had good initial positioning here, and as a downfield official, I will say I think this is one of the hardest plays to officiate in a 6-man crew, because the downfield guys with the ball in the 7, or I'm sorry, the ball in the 8, they're on the goal line, but as soon as they read pass, they're communicating to their short wing, telling them pass, 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 and retreating to the end line. The problem is with a short pass like this, you have a no man's land of sorts where, you know, the short wing hasn't quite gotten to the goal line and the downfield wing is already at the end line, so no one is on the goal line. And that's kind of what happened here. You can see the short wing kind of come up after the fact, and it looks like he got a good spot, and the downfield wing comes in as well. The second thing, you know, we need to make sure on these huge plays that we come in big with a signal. You know, first we need to stop the clock, absolutely, or do some kind of stop the clock signal. If it's a touchdown, it's a touchdown. If A has the ball, hold up your hand to start the play clock. If it's a change of possession, stop the clock and point the other way. But this was a game deciding play right here, so we need to come in hard and we need to sell that call. You know, we see the short wing here kind of signal, and then we're talking about it a little bit more. and then we decide, okay, it's change of possession. The other big thing here, there's no reason that this coach should be, one, on the field, and two, actually in the huddle of the coaches' discussion. Whoever is not involved as an official in this discussion, if you're on the opposite side or what have you, you can run in and get that coach out of there. Walk him back to the sideline. We don't want to do any kind of official discussion as best as we can around players or coaches. You know, that needs to be a private conversation, just so that the coach or the players don't misinterpret something that they think they heard, and then they may get upset because they misunderstood something. So we stop the clock eventually, and then, you know, we hold the ball up saying the ball game's over. Like I said, I'll play it one more time here. This is one of the hardest plays, and I think from, you know, this point is when the downfield official reads pass, so they're retreating. And I think especially when the ball is on like the 7, right at the borderline of if you're on the goal line or if you're not, the downfield official can yell pass, 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 but make sure that you hold that goal line just for a couple more seconds before you retreat to the end line, just to make sure that you know that short wing is going to get to that goal line so that someone is there. That goal line is the most important line on the field. You know, if something happens and you're on the goal line and somebody's on the end, nobody's on the end line, you know, that's not as crucial. We really need to make sure somebody's on that goal line at all times. So, you know, right here we can see that the short wing is still at the line, and he should have already retreated towards the goal line. But like I said, if this is a hard play, this is a very hard play with a quick pass like that. And one more time, you know, come in hard. This is a huge play. Give some kind of signal, especially if you know if it's going to be a change of possession, touchdown, start the play clock, whatever. Come in hard, because this is a huge moment. And you can actually, if you listen to the video with sound, the announcers aren't even sure what is going on. And that's, again, going back to our optics. Optics is everything. We want to make sure that, you know, everybody knows, or we can at least act like we know what we're doing out there. So that's all this week. Good job so far. You know, talk to your Chiefs if you have any interesting plays or questions. Remember, we're all here to learn. Good luck, stay safe, and have fun.